I've read all of the stories, articles and poetry selected for inclusion in the anthology, and quite a lot more of the others as well. I've been impressed by the breadth of imagination that you've produced from a single phrase, New Tales of the South China Sea. There were some wonderfully inventive pirate stories, just crying out for Captain Jack Sparrow. Sea creatures both harming and helping their human friends. And although I was not previously aware of the existence of vampire mermaids, I will be sure to look out for them the next time I go night swimming. But above all, there was an overwhelming reference to the need to protect and conserve our seas and environment. Polluted seas, lonely fish, and humans learning harsh lessons. My heart broke at the story of the pink dolphin returning to his cave home to find it had been reclaimed and filled with stones. I felt the sorrow of the sardine family, whose mother returns to her original home to find it destroyed by humans piping waste into the sea. And I pledged to sign the petition of the mermaid urging her human friends not to trawl at the bottom of the ocean as they scoop up the sea's babies. Of course, these are actual issues that are happening around us, as demonstrated so admirably in the non-fiction entries. Between this factual reporting and the thought-provoking stories, it's clear that you are all genuinely committed to cleaning up Hong Kong and its surrounds. And this too is very much to be applauded. Another strong theme throughout the stories was that of family, most particularly grandmothers, grandfathers and piratey uncles, handing down lessons via stories and poems of times gone by. In non-fiction, articles included the linking of food with generations, showing that family is all about getting back to basics, eating together, listening to each other, and looking after your siblings. In summary, if you are the future of Hong Kong, then it's looking pretty good from up here. Not only because you are letting your imaginations run wild, but because you genuinely care about your environment, your families, and each other. Thank you to all our sponsors for helping us put together this event. Thank you to all the schools and teachers that supported the writing. I'd like now to introduce our chairman of the judges, Mr. Nuri Vitachi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Talk to me, I know you're a bit awestruck by my presence. I'll try not to be condescending, boys and girls. Oh, good to be here. And I was at your school last week, wasn't I? Kennedy. Oh, more Kennedy kids up there. And where's CIS? Oh, there you are. I'm coming to your school next week, so be on your best behaviour. And Korean down here, I was at your school last month. No, I get everywhere. It's great to be here. You know, a couple of years ago, I was chairman of the judges of the world's second largest literature prize, global. And guess which was more fun, that or this? This was way more fun. No. Way more imaginative and much better writers too. You know, a scary message for the parents though. Scientists have found that IQ generally is going up 15 points every decade. Which means your kids are going to be smarter than you in 20 years. Some of them are already there. 15 points, just to put it in perspective. 15 points is exactly the difference between Hillary Clinton's IQ and George W. Bush. 15 points is a lot. Just a short message for you to remember. Creativity is very important everywhere. We all hear that. But it's especially important in Hong Kong. Why? Because we don't have any. I'm not joking. It's terrible here. I mean, what is the central part of Hong Kong called? Central. What is the building right in the middle of Central called? Central Building. What is the tower opposite that one called? Central Tower. New York has the Hudson River. London has the Thames. Paris has the Seine. What do we call the harbour in Hong Kong? The harbour. Hong Kong's the only place in the world which has a building called Skyscraper. Grand around the corner from Central Building is a building called Commercial Building. And just beyond that is the witty Commercial Building, which intrigues me. But occasionally in Hong Kong, the older generation, we say, let us try and be creative, like kids. Kids are creative, let us be creative. Let us use an adjective. Which is why on Nathan Road you'll find a building called Newish Building. Which is why in Discovery Bay you'll find a building called Greenish Building. Which is white. Near to Newish Building in Kowloon you'll find Adjoining Building. In Central Worldwide House you'll find Surplus Shop. And it's empty. I used to work in North Point, and I used to go every day to a restaurant in Electric Road. And you know what it was called? I think it's still there. The Quite Good Chinese restaurant. You go in there, and there's a big colour picture menu, and at the top of it was the signature dish. Quite good noodle. My favourite restaurant in Hong Kong is now closed down though. It was on Stanley Street and it was a vegetarian restaurant. Who can tell me what it was called? Vegetarian restaurant. You went into vegetarian restaurant and all the waitresses had a name tag just here. And every name tag said waitress. So the name tags differentiated the girls from the fish and the plants. This is how uncreative Hong Kong is. This is why we need you. We need you because you guys are way more creative. Let me just give you one true life example from literary history. When a British writer 100 years ago wrote a story about a bear, he thought, what shall I call the bear? And he thought of this brilliant name, Mr. Bear. Then he thought, right, he needs a first name. What first name should I put him? Teddy. And Teddy is short for Edward, so he wrote a story about Mr. Edward Bear. Fortunately, there was a kid in the room, a little kid called Christopher Robin. And Christopher Robin said, I don't want to be called Edward Bear. I want to be called Winnie. And Milne, the writer, his name was A.A. Milne, he said, but Winnie is a girl's name. And the kid, with perfect kid logic, stamped his foot and said, I want it to be called Winnie! Okay, we'll call him Winnie. And I don't want him to be called Mr. Bear, I want him to be called Pooh. Can you imagine what a grown-up would say to that? Pooh? Pooh is a bad word. Pooh? No one will buy it if it's Mr. Pooh. And the kid stamped his foot and said, we need that Pooh. And so Mr. Teddy Bear became Winnie the Pooh, and he became the most famous literary children's book character in world history. And why? Do you think he'd have become famous if a grown-up had done it by himself and called it Mr. Bear? No. You see, we need kid creativity. We need you. Okay. So that's enough from me. So I want everybody, please, I want all the grown-ups to give a big round of applause to the kids, and all the kids to the mouse.
What we do have to follow though now is the presentation of our prizes. That's why we're all here. From Discovery College, Gigi Lowe. Chantel Wu.
Sure. Running commentaries.
And Michael Harries.